So the new iRacing tire model update is just around the corner, and it's gonna be super important for you to be able to adapt to it quickly. This will be a huge change, it won't be a small one, and in this video I'm gonna show you the #1 drill that will help you to understand how to get to that grip limit and how to feel it systematically. So in a nutshell, we got to a case where when you start sliding the car, it becomes almost impossible to catch it back. Or if you do catch it back or slide it too much in the previous corner, when you get to the next one, this will happen. So the tire temperature will spike a lot, making the new corner almost undrivable, at least if you're pushing. So with the new tire model, they're addressing this in a way that you're gonna be able to stay more past the grip limit without being penalized as harshly as now. So this will make the driving easier for everybody? Well, I don't think so. I think the gap between the very fast and all the rest will be even bigger after this update. This is my assumption, because right now you can slightly underdrive the car everywhere and be decently fast. Now you really have to understand and feel how to get past that grip limit and stay there, and how much more you stay past the grip limit, that's going to be impossible to know at this moment. But those fast drivers, they will be rewarded for the skill of feeling the limit. And this is exactly what we're gonna do now. And to get to that level, we need first to really feel what underdriving is. So if we're gonna brake earlier for a corner and we get to the apex and add a lot more of steering wheel angle, you notice this car turns a lot more. So I'm able to add more steering with the car still turning. It means we were under the limit of grip, because otherwise the car wouldn't have turned. Then what we're gonna try is to make this turn-in phase a lot harder. You should feel like the car isn't responding as quickly to your steering input and that the car struggles to turn while you're still hitting your apex. So basically we're looking for peak lateral load. On a corner like this, the entry, the initial peak braking is not as important, at least for the scope of this drill. What's important is here, this phase when you're hustling the car into the mid-corner phase. This is where we should feel maximum lateral load, because what's actually happening when we're initiating the turn is a lot of weight gets pushed to the outside tires. So the car leans, in this case, to the right side. And we have the left side unloaded, we have a lot of weight on the right side, and the G-forces are pulling the car to the outside. So it's important for you to feel that the car wants to go to the outside and doesn't want to go to the turn, if that makes sense. So you should feel the car fighting you to take the corner. And what I mean by feeling the car fighting you is actually in the force feedback. When you're turning into a corner, the initial turn should feel quite heavy, because there's grip available. So as you turn more and more and more, you feel more force feedback. The signal is stronger. But then you get to a point where if you add more steering or more brake, you don't feel the wheel getting heavier. It stays the same or it gets lighter. That's the point where you're going past the limit. You're not getting any more rotation. You're not getting any more forces, either laterally or longitudinally or both. So in that moment, you know that you reached the peak. So if I'm doing it on track for this corner, it feels heavy, 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 light, light, light as I'm understeering. And for this one, heavy, and then very, very light because I'm spinning. So it's this transition between the steering wheel being heavy and the steering wheel being light. You being able to recognize this, it means you will know when you're going past the limit. So what's the drill then? Well, I believe that the drivers that are able to hold that peak lateral rotation for longer, even going past the limit and hold it for longer, will be ahead of the others that can't with the new tire model. So what you want to do is find a corner where you can spin the car on purpose, just like this. And initially, your goal will be to just spin the car on purpose as quickly as you can. And this can be easily done by picking the brakes harder and then just turning with the brakes engaged, because a lot of weight gets to the front nose of the car, the rear gets loose, and super easy to do it. Then you will try to almost drift the car into the corner. You will try to maintain that rotation as much as you can initially. So your goal will be to still spin the car, but fight it more while you're trying to spin it. once again, I'm trying to drift it just like this and try to catch it. And the same thing can be said about your throttle input. You can try by pressing it quite aggressively to get some rotation from the throttle input itself while you're going on the exit of the corner, or you can try to make the car understeer with your throttle input by being a little bit more aggressive and having the car push wider. And once you get into this state, then your goal will be to make them last longer. So fighting the car even more while you're adding this throttle input, trying to control this state. Basically sliding the car more. The drill is about sliding the car more, but this will be impossible if you're not focusing first on the peak lateral rotation. That's why we started with you feeling how the car is driving under the limit, then driving close to the limit, then driving past the limit, focusing on the force feedback, and then trying to make that state last longer. So I hope this video was helpful. If so, give it a like, a subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.